Hey everyone, this is another Help Me Build a List video. I recently have been talking quite a lot with Craig Brown, and he sent me a list of models that he has in his collection. He is one of those people who has a huge pile of shame, a collection that he just hasn't finished. And he asked me, what can you build with this list? Well, let's go and see, shall we? Now, what he sent me was his collection of British Airborne. Um, so his collection, I've put it up over here. Maybe I should increase the zoom a little bit. Right, maybe that much. Not that much, maybe. That was a little bit too much, wasn't it? I just wanted you guys to be able to see it. Right. So this is the collection. Um, 2 officers, 2 observers, medics, 30 para SMGs, 28 riflemen, lots of LMGs, Piats, light mortars, sniper, flamer, 25-pounder, medium mortars, MMG teams, Paulson guns, 6-pounder, 17-pounder, wow, 5 airborne jeeps, and 2 Bren gun carriers, no, 1 Bren gun carrier with a magnetized MMG. Right. If I was building an airborne force, the first thing I would do is I would debate with myself, what am I going to build it for? Am I going to build it for competitive purposes or for thematic purposes? Am I going to bring it to events where I need a generic reinforced platoon? Am I going to bring it to events where I need a theater platoon? Um, as theater platoons go, the the airborne are not top of the line. You can do better, and just going by that, you might want to say, well, that's I'm building a thematic platoon, or I'm building a generic reinforced platoon. If you look at Easy Army, you can sort of start building there and then get out the books afterwards, right? Um, so I would start by looking at Market Garden, basically. Market Garden is the book to go to for this, and you can go Airborne Reconnaissance Platoon. That would play into all those jeeps that you've got, um, or you could build a British paratroop, Polish paratroop platoon. That would actually be very beneficial because look here, it's got double mortars, it's got double armored cars, it's got loads of infantry. Um, so if I was going to run something for Market Garden for a thematic event, this is where I would look. It's not going to win thematic events, but it is going to be fun. So maybe I should build one of these. Let's do that. Let's start with the officer. I'm going to build a second lieutenant. Um, I'm going to make him cheap. I know that that's not realistic, but let's just start with making him cheap. Because I build competitive armies, right? Then we're going to need ourselves some paratroop sections. These guys are really good because they've got skirmish, they're veteran, but they are also extremely expensive, right? Um, so I think we're going to have to go 6-man units and then give them SMGs. These are going to be our push units. I'll keep the NCO with a rifle. Actually, I want to make it a little bit more difficult for my opponent to choose targets. So 4 men with submachine guns and 2 men with rifles. That's how I'm building them. That will also give me a little bit of range, so I can put pins on something outside of 12 inches. And I'm going to build myself 2 of these. Again, 4 SMGs. There we go. Cool. Now, if you look at the rest of this, there are some choices that just looking at what you have in your collection, Greg, I think you should take, of course. You should take a British Airborne Jeep, you should take it regular, and you should upgrade it to twin forward-facing MMGs. Why? Because it's just so damn useful. Twin forward-facing MMGs. 2 of those. Nice. For a single platoon, that is not bad. You could also look at that brain carrier you've got. It's got a magnetized MMG. I don't care. Let's just get a regular one of those with an LMG. This is going to be our transport for something else. Possibly for our flamethrower, because you do have a flamethrower team. So I'll get one of these. Possibly not, though. Flamethrowers are better in Jeeps, aren't they? He doesn't state that he has Jeeps, so I'm just going to build what he has. If the airborne Jeeps have a magnetized weapon system that you can take off, take one of those Jeeps and put your flamethrower in that instead. But right now, the brain gun carrier, that's perfectly fine. We're also getting ourselves one of those Piats, because that should be a safe bet. That means we have some anti-tank capabilities. Both of them are actually good anti-tank. They can both go in that brain carrier. Right. Now we're going to buy something fun. Medium mortars. These... Oh, I struggle here. All my instincts say get them inexperienced, but that would defeat the purpose, wouldn't it? I'm getting them inexperienced. You can always go back and pay the extra cost for them if you want to, but I'm getting 2 because I can take 2. So 2 medium inexperienced mortars. And I am also buying you a 25-pounder light artillery piece. If that's what you can get. No, it's not. It's a light howitzer. So you can't even get the 25-pounder, can you? You can get a Paulson gun if you want to. I don't. Not necessarily. You know what I really would want? But this is not new collection. I really would want one of these. Local knowledge. So German players cannot use the hidden rule. It's only in an American force. It doesn't matter then. Still fun, and it's cheap. Dirt cheap. I would want to get one of those. Right. Let's get some more paratroopers. I am getting myself a unit of skirmish paratroopers, so just with rifles, 6 men. I'm getting 2 of those. Right, and I'm getting 1 more section of the SMG armed pairs. All of these are good skirmish units. They're all of them great for pushing up and pushing onto objectives and staying on objectives. Going down, you can't ever be shot off at that objective. It's not going to happen ever. Because you have the possibility, I think you should go and get yourself more infantry sections. And these are all going to be push units. So let's just pay the cost. This means that you have 6 units of infantry that can push. Very, very good. Now, you should get yourself the free observer, of course, because you can. And because you can, I think you have leftovers. You've got, just a sec, I'm going to have to check, because I think you should give him some extra guys as well. You got 4, 8, you've got 16 SMG armed troopers, paratroopers taken. Because I think you should give your lieutenant and your observer some extra guys. So the lieutenant will get 2 extra men. And just take some of the SMG armed paratroopers and put them there. And your forward observer will get 1 extra man. Why? Because the forward observer only needs 1 extra man. Then he's still a small team. The lieutenant can now start in your deployment zone even if there's preparatory bombardment. He can't die from that. So yeah, there we go. Good. Then you're going to need a sniper, because why not? And let's look at the national characteristics. What should we get for this army? It's not really a charge 'em army. So blood curling charge and up and at 'em, not as good. Toughest boots could be beneficial because that would mean that you have extra attacks in close combat if you do get into close combat. Rapid fire, not as useful. Um, you don't have many rifles. Vengeance is always useful, and it's useful on all your units because you don't have many that are inexperienced. So I would use Vengeance. And we have 19 points left over. Not really enough for anything, is it? No, no, it's not. A jeep. It's enough for a jeep. Take one of those jeeps, snap off your arms, and you have your transportation for your flamer team. That's the list that I would build. That is it. So 1,000 points, 998, 17 order dice. It's a theater platoon. It's got a second lieutenant with 2 extra men, inexperienced. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 paratroop sections. 2 of them are rifle arm skirmishes. The rest have a mix of rifles and some machine guns. Are push units, units that you push up towards objectives, take them, and then go down on those objectives. They can assault a little bit. They can fight in close combat, but shouldn't really too much. They're stubborn, so they're not going to run away. That is a lot of stubborn infantry that you can push onto objectives. Your forward artillery observer has an extra man, extra SMGs in the center line where all your paratroopers are going to be as well. All of this, by the way, removes pins via Vengeance. You have 2 medium mortars. They're going to stay in the back lines, lobbing shells towards the enemy. A Piat, regular. A sniper team, regular. A flamer team, regular. All of these will benefit from Vengeance as well. Not the mortars because they're inexperienced, but these guys will. 2 airborne recce jeeps, very good skirmishers, very good flanking units, very annoying for the enemy. And a Bren carrier with twin LMGs, pintle mounted, and a forward facing one, so that can also Daka quite a lot. It's pretty good. Run this up with either your flamethrower or your Piat team and then have them get out. Put the artillery observer in once he's shot his load, and that's it. The jeep is for the flamethrower team or the Piat, depending on what your enemy is bringing. That would be my suggestion for how to build an airborne army from what Craig has in his collection. That's it. Hope you enjoyed this one. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.